Shalom Yashrala, this your brother Dawada, coming back at you with this here truth again. First and foremost, I'm going to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushua, Bahashim, Rakak Kudash. Double honor to the apostles and the elders of great millstone that taught us this truth and that rule well. And citation, much love for you. I kept pushing this truth and sincerity over the four corners of the earth and enduring afflictions to feed and edify the elect. So I want to jump into this here article real quick. It says British soldiers to prepare for fighting Russia. All right, the scripture also warns us about, the visions yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. All right, and most, most Christian churches and things like that, they speak about, Gog and Magog and, the war with Russia, the final war. So this isn't a much of a huge secret. You still have some people that's, in denial of a nuclear warfare, nuclear end, and everything else like that. But hey, you think about it, if you're going to go to war with Russia and they're, neck and neck with nuclear arms with America, how do you think it's going to end? All right. And if you understand about military politics and things like that and the actors involved, let me read this last paragraph first. It says the UK is a member of the NATO alliance, and in the event that it becomes involved in an open war with Russia, the bloc's 29 other member states, including the U.S., would be obliged to enter the conflict. So, going into that, most people don't understand, how, these military alliances are set up. So, hey, if one member of NATO goes into this war with Russia, they all are going to go according to Article 5. And this is, kind of the push towards getting Ukraine to be a part of NATO so that they could, what you're witnessing is basically, the antagonizing of Russia and also China to force them into World War III. This is what the plan is, and you're seeing it being played out. All right, but hey, as you're starting to see now, the vision is yet for an appointed time. The writing is on the wall. All right, and we're getting closer and closer to that end. So it says, and listen to this here article. It says British troops to prepare for fighting Russia. Warrant Officer Paul Carney advised troops to discuss a potential deployment with their families. All right, and hey, and we'll get into it in the scriptures. But hey, why do you think that they tell them about these things like that, man? Hey, say your last goodbyes. All right, because hey, we're about to prepare for World War III. This is about to be it, man. All right. It says the UK's top other ranked soldiers have said that British troops must be ready to fight Russia and should prepare their families for the prospect of an extended deployment. And extended mean forever. All right, because hey, in this here battle, hey, we'll get in the scriptures, but hey, all the men that's gonna go out to war, they're not coming back from this bad boy, man. All right. It says, and speaking solely about America, man, their armies is gonna be decimated, totally decimated, man. All right. It says the UK's top other ranked soldiers have said that British troops must be ready to fight Russia and should prepare their families for a prospect of extended deployment. And again, now as we read in this, remember the last basically the last line of this here article about how if the UK goes, all of NATO goes. So you can pretty much replace the UK with the US, all right? And they should be warning these US troops about the same thing, man. They should be warning the US population. They should have been warning the US population about this before, they started backing Ukraine. But this would be the possibility. But what do you have going on in America right now when it comes to the recruits, man? All right, they're under they're under their benchmarks. All right, they're trying to throw extra incentives for signing up. All right, higher sign-on bonuses. All right, and also reducing student loan debts and things like that, man. All right, they can't even get nobody to go into the military right about now. Even if they tried, and even if they did, most of these people are overweight. All right, lazy, on drugs, got criminal backgrounds. They're not fit for the military. So, hey, it's not looking too good for you, American soldiers, man. All right, it says. His advice comes just after the UK's new head of general staff said the British forces must become capable of defeating Russia in battle, which we already know the outcome according to the scriptures. Writing for the latest issue of the British Army Soldier magazine, Carney said that the army is shaping itself to meet the threat from Russia and will be ready when with the right equipment to play our part in deterring a future war in Europe. Deterring in this case seemingly means deploying. I want all of us to check we are physically fit for operation. It is also important that we prepare our loved ones and families who often have the hardest role in our absence, he continued. So, hey, again, say your final goodbyes. All right. Basically, is what they're saying. Let your family know. Prepare your family. You know what I'm saying? This is going to be the end all be all. We about to gear up for World War III. You can look back at the past world wars. The the amount of casualties and things like that racked up, and the majority of the casualties in World War I and World War II wasn't from the soldiers; it was from the civilians. So hey, this is going to be a and we know about what the outcome of America is going to be, man. It's going to be a total loss over on this end. All right, save the elect. But hey, you have these people that are actually warning their folks about, hey, it's almost time for World War III. We're gearing up for this. It's not no little small skirmish. It's Ukraine. People thinking that the situation with Ukraine was just going to die off, and then see, y'all was talking about World War III. Y'all was talking about no, it's going to just die off. Nah. Well, you see, Ukraine is still boiling over. Then they starting to heat up a flame over in Taiwan with China. So you see, and then you have constant other battles and things going on all over the rest of the globe and things like that, man. And different relationships that are being torn apart, and different relationships that are actually being brought together. So what do you think is going on, man? This whole, how you say, global relationships are either strengthening or weakening for what? World War III. All right. It says, my ask is that you have discussions about the potential deployment with them now. We could be out of contact for extended periods on tour. All right. And so what do they keep saying? Hey man, talk to your loved ones, because at a split second, all they need is one major event to happen, and then boom, they're going off to war. All right. Now again, if you understand about how this war go, or how the military block goes with Article 5, if Ukraine was a part of NATO, you know what I'm saying? All Russia would have to do is sneeze on Ukraine, and all of NATO would come out to their aid. So how much more any of their other how you say allies, NATO allies, and they're trying to get more and more nations to be a part of NATO anyway. All right, which is up on their doorsteps. Now you have the conflict with Kosovo and Serbia that's going on as well. So hey, at any point in time, and these things are still somewhat related to the whole Russia situation. So at any point in time, this could escalate into that, and we know that that's the end game goal. So we know that it's not going to go backwards; it's only going to escalate and go forward from here. It says Carney's warning does not signal an imminent change in the UK's role in the conflict in Ukraine. However, a warning in June by British new Chief of the General Staff, General Patrick Sanders, suggested the Army views Russia as its next major opponent, which it's always been. All right, looking at it from the U.S. side, it says there's now a burning imperative to forge an army capable of fighting alongside with our allies and defeating Russia in battle. Sanders wrote in a letter to his charges. We are the generation that must prepare the army to fight in Europe once again. All right, what do they mean by fighting once again? In a world war. All right, you have World War I and World War II right there on that side, man. All right, but now you're about to go into World War III, and they're saying to do what? To fight Russia. Now you can go back to what's his name? Albert Pike. Albert Pike wrote about these World War I, World War II, and World War III all before the whole First World War even took place, and who would be in these wars. All right, who would be the who would be on what side and everything else like that. So these things are all planned out, by these people. But at the same token, all right, this is the Most High's will. All right, because we can read about this in prophecy about the king of the Medes, or Russian them, coming to destroy the whole land of Babylon the Great. All right, how America's allies are going to wind up turning for them. All right, how they say there's plenty of scriptures that go into that about how they they eat that bread. They're planning with you, but then they're also planning to deceive you. All right, to leave you out there, and how all of their allies are going to wind up turning on them, man, and how the beast is going to wind up hating the whore. So as we see, economically, Europe is being decimated economically by way of what? Following the beast, all right, or following the whore. All right, they're you would think in the back of their minds they're making plans on how to get up out of this quagmire, man. And the only way to up out of this here thing is to do what? Is to double cross America, man. Leave them out there and then go into Russia. Because hey, if they just get a divorce from America, all right, where are they going to get these resources from? All right, they would have to get them from the enemy that they're looking at now, which is Russia, man. All right, so hey, this is what you're seeing going on right about now, man. All right, and the part of these Americans think that they're never going to fall. Hey, but this is their end. It says the UK has given Ukraine 2.7 billion in military aid since Russia's military operation began in February. British forces are currently training Ukrainian recruits in the UK, and its intelligence agencies are allegedly sharing information with their Ukrainian counterparts. It says the UK is a member of the NATO alliance, and in the event that it becomes involved in an open war with Russia, the bloc's 29 other member states, including the US, would oblige to enter the conflict. So, you have this that's going on at the point in time to where, hey, well, let's just read it. Joel 3:9. It says, proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war, wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near, or let them come up. All right. And so what you have right now is a lot of these different nations are, what do you say, have these military drills that's going on. I believe the U.S. and South Korea is stirring up military drills at the point in time. All right, you got the British troops. They tell them to, or the British telling their troops to, talk to their families about these things. All right, you have all these different nations that are preparing to go to war right now at this point in time, and you still have people that are lackadaisical, thinking that everything is just still sweet. They don't realize that World War III is right around the corner, man. World War III is like it's a stone throw away. All right, you've been seeing this conflict going on with Ukraine and Russia for so long, and a lot of these Americans think that what that got to do with us, what that got to do with us. Like, well, your side is the one that's backing, the Ukrainians. Your side is the one that's stirring up all this here beef. Your side is the one over here stirring up beef also in China with Taiwan, man. Sending Pelosi, like, how come you Americans, you think you're so removed from this? Why aren't you sitting over here screaming at your politicians? Like, nah, man, tell Pelosi to keep her ass over here. Tell them to stop sending money over to Ukraine. Tell them to stop arming Ukraine. How come you're not protesting? You'll protest out in the streets for some elections and things like that, and for Black Lives Matter. But hey, all y'all about to meet your demise right about now. Why aren't you in the streets protesting against your government right now about these things, man? Telling them y'all don't want nothing to do with these things, man. And that's a carnal statement to make anyway, because we know this is all according to the Most High's will. But hey, at the same time, just to show you about how these people are and how they think about these things, man. They think that they're so far removed from these things, but the whole world right now is feeling your wrath. All right. It says, proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war, wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near, let them come up. It says, beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears, let the weak say I am strong. All right. And you have, like I said, a lot of these different nations are preparing militarily, investing into military equipment, doing military drills and things like this. In a time where you have economic recovery trying to happen, especially after the pandemic and things like this. A lot of these countries are more focusing on military advancement right now, more than just getting their economy back up and rolling, man. You see a lot of these things right now going on with Ukraine. A lot of these different nations are Germany, Europe, all these nations over there in Europe, basically, instead of trying to figure out the energy crisis that they got going on, they sitting over here spending more and more money, sending weapons over to the Ukraine. All right, trying to send more and more money over that way, man. So you have to understand what these nations are preparing for, man. And a lot of these nations are also, preparing their own militaries, man. It says, assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about. Thither cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Yahweh. Let the heathen be awakened and come up to the valley of Yahweh Shaphat, for there will I sit and judge all the heathen round about. It says, put ye in the sickle, for the harvest is ripe. Come get you down, the press is full, for the fats overflow and their wickedness is great. All right. And so, hey, this is, Babylon the Great, these Edomites, ultimately, their sins have reached up to heaven. All right. It says multitudes in the valley of decisions. The day of Yahweh is near in the valley of decisions. So, hey, multitudes, man. All right. It's going to be a lot of people out here, man. World War III is what it's going to be. All right. And, you have, let me grab this real quick because they kept going into this. Second Ezra 16:33, it says, the virgins shall mourn having no bridegrooms, and the women shall mourn having no husbands. Their daughters shall mourn having no helpers. And the wars, so these are all women, all right, that they're talking about. The virgins shall mourn, all right, these are females, having no bridegrooms because they ain't got no husbands, all right. The women shall mourn, all right, these are obviously women, still not having no husbands. The daughters shall mourn, having no helpers, all right, there's going to be no men. All right. And the war shall their bridegrooms be destroyed, and their husbands shall perish of famine. All right. And so what's going to happen to all the men? It says, in the war shall their bridegrooms be destroyed, and their husbands shall perish of famine. All right. So, hey, as we was reading the article, how they keep saying, hey, talk to your family about this. Talk to your family about deployment. Talk to your family about the long suffering they're finna feel. Hold your loved ones tight. Kiss your kids goodbye. Talk to your family, because this is going to be it for you, man. You're going to be sent over, multitudes in the valley of decisions. Are you going to be sent over there? You're going to be ultimately buried in the sands of times over there, man. All right. This is going to be the end all be all for you people, man. All right. It's not going to be a coming home victory party for you or nothing like that, man. All right. This is going to be the point in time where Esau Edom is taken out of the power position, man. All right. You're going to have Babylon the Great go up against, with their conglomeration, go up against Russia and their conglomeration. All right. Hang on. Babylon's allies are going to wind up leaving her and turning on her and destroying her. And Yahushua is going to return with the angels to clean up the rest of the mess, man. All right, ultimately taking Esau Edom out of power. All right, so this is how Esau Edom is going to go down. But hey, it's going to start with what? World War III. All right. There's something else I was going to grab. And oh, I don't know what I was going to grab. Let me finish off with this. Jeremiah 50. Jeremiah 50 and 22, it says, "The sound of battle is in the land, and of a great destruction. How is the hammer of the whole earth cut asunder and broken? How has Babylon become a desolation among the nations?" All right. Hey, so again, this is how it all ends for Babylon the Great, man. All right. It says now, hey, it says, "How is the hammer of the whole earth cut asunder and broken?" All right, because America has been hammering the whole earth, beating the whole earth into to pieces and things like that. But now it's come to the point in time where America is about to be taken out. It says, "How has Babylon become a desolation among nations?" All right, and the answer is what? Well, we'll read it. It says, "I have laid a snare for thee, and thou art also taken, O Babylon, and thou wast not aware." All right, so again, what is part of this here snare? America, their pride, their Babylonian juice. All right, they over here, you know, how you put it there, their wickedness have deceived thee, their witchcraft and things that they've been doing, been able to a lot of these different countries and still these different nations and, keep going on and on and on with their different witchcraft and things like that. But now, the Most High's got them in that trick bag. All right. They thought that they can keep doing the same old move over and over and over again and prevail over all these different nations. It was never going to end. Nobody was going to ever see them. All right. None seeth me. All right. But hey, the Most High's got your card, man. It says, "I've laid a snare for thee, thou art also taken, O Babylon, and thou wast not aware. Thou art found and also caught because thou hast striven against Yahweh." It says, "Yahweh hath opened his armory and has brought forth the weapons of his indignation. For this is the work of Yahweh power of hosts in the land of the Chaldees." All right, so hey, he's brought forth the weapons of his indignation, which are those ICBM thermonuclear missiles. All right, it says, "Come against her from the uttermost border and open her storehouses, cast her up as heaps and destroy her utterly, let nothing be left." So this is what's going to wind up happening to what? Babylon the Great, man. All right, because hey, at the same time, well, let me see, where is it at? Well, it's further down. Well, I'll just read it all the way down to verse. Because I could read further down. Let me just keep reading on down because point I wanted to grab was in verse 29, but there's also some good in 30. It says, verse 27, "Slay all her bullocks, let them go down to the slaughter. Woe unto them, for their day is come, the time of their visitation. The voice of them that flee and escape out of the land of Babylon, to declare in Zion the vengeance of Yahweh our power, and the vengeance of his temple." It says, "Call together the archers against Babylon, all ye that bend the bow." All right, so again, all these different nations that have missile capability, all right, they're going to all turn on America. It says, "Camp against it round about, and let none thereof escape. Recompense her according to her works, according to all that she have done, do unto her. For she have been proud against Yahweh and against the Holy One of Israel." So, reward her as she rewarded you. So all these other nations, because you spoiled many nations, all right, all the remnant of the nations going to spoil thee. All right. Verse 30, "Therefore shall her young men fall in the streets, and all her men of war shall be cut off in the day, saith Yahweh." So going back to what we was talking about earlier about, hey, it's gonna be a complete loss. All right, utter destruction here in Babylon, man. You're not gonna have no men to come back to, man. All right. All these men, your sons and your nephews and everybody that goes over to the military, even your daughters that go over there in that military, man, they're not coming back, man. All right, it's written here in the scriptures, man. They're gonna go over there to fight a war, and that's gonna be it for them, man. All right, it's gonna be their last deployment, man. And you see the handwriting on the wall with these this here article about, hey, talk to your family, talk to your loved ones about your deployment and everything else like that. And they mention that multiple times. Hey, talk to your family, man. Say your last goodbyes, basically, is what they were saying to your families, man, because this is not gonna be like any other war where you go off to war. You know what I'm saying? And then you come back, like America went into the Middle East for 20 years, and I believe the death toll of that for the American side was under, 5,000. Let's just say it was clearly under 10,000. But I want to say it was under 5,000 people that died over in those 20 years of fighting, man. All right. So, hey, man, just think about that. People think that, oh, it ain't going to be that bad. And for 20 years of war and losing, like I said, I think the number was way under 5,000. All right. That's not really a big death toll when you talk about war. All right, but hey, this is going to be a completely different landscape, man. This is going to be an utter destruction for you American soldiers, man. All right, and a lot of you Edomite soldiers are pretty much gonna die over there, man. All right, but hey, I'm gonna go ahead and close out with that. Lord willing, the elect was edified with this here lesson. Until next time, I say, call halal Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rakakudash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of great millstone that taught us this truth and that rule well. And citation and much love for you. I can pushing this truth and sincerity over the four corners of the earth and enduring afflictions to feed and edify the elect. Until next time, I say, stay strong. Shalom.